Hey guys, it's Brandon Miniman from Pocketnow.com, and this is the hardware review of the new HTC Incredible S. Let's get to it. Now this phone is sold unlocked, and it actually has the bands to do T-Mobile's 3G, which is quite nice. You can get it right now at negrielectronics.com. It's about $640. Yes, expensive, but if you get an unlocked phone, you know that you're going to pay a premium for that right. Now the HTC Incredible S has somewhat of a vanilla design. As you can see, looking at it right from the front, there's not many interesting characteristics about it. Probably the most interesting part of the design of the front of the device is that there are no buttons on the bottom. It looks like a buttonless phone until you turn on the screen. But there's a reason for that, and there's an actual downside to having that, and we'll talk about that in a minute, but let's talk about the rest of the device. So we've got a speaker grill up here with a nice LED notification. Always nice to have that so you don't have to turn on your screen to see if you have a new email. We've got a 1.3 megapixel front-facing camera, which is a resolution bump from the typical VGA resolution. The screen is a pretty good size, 4 inches across, and it's 800 down by 480 across resolution. The contrast on this display is fantastic. The color reproduction is great. It's a Super LCD panel. Let's compare it to another Super LCD panel here on the Desire HD. Well, this is actually the Inspire 4G. It's a bigger screen, and we've got the same skin loaded on here. So we'll really be able to tell sort of how the contrast looks. And if we bring these up close, look at the difference. These are both set to automatic screen brightness, and the screen on the Incredible S just seems a lot more clear, more contrasty. There seems to be almost a bluish tint over the entire Inspire 4G screen here, whereas on the Incredible S, it's clear as crystal. It just looks really, really great, and colors really pop. So a lot of points here for the Incredible S's display, which is Super AMOLED. Now, a few things about these buttons. What you're going to notice is that these buttons will actually rotate, which is pretty cool. So if we go into, say, the web browser, and we rotate the display, whoa, the buttons rotate. That's really cool, right? Well, sort of. I mean, it helps, but there's a problem with the buttons. Depending on how you look at the buttons, they will have different level of brightness. So looking at them head on, look at this area right down here. In fact, I want to zoom in a little bit. Hopefully I can show you this on video. If we tilt the device a little bit towards the camera, they get really dim. And then the search button becomes extra bright, and then these are sort of different brightness levels. The brightness is very inconsistent, and if we go to the center and kind of tilt it more directly at the camera, they're all very bright, and then if we keep going, they become dim again. So it's really strange how they've done this, and you can actually see that this is sort of the tipping point where they get bright and where they get dim. So the buttons kind of look very low quality. The home button is always a little bit more dim than the other buttons. Maybe this was done on purpose, but it kind of creates a lower sort of quality feel. Okay, so let's zoom back out and continue our look around the hardware on the Incredible S. So if we go to the bottom, we've got a microphone, and we've actually got some other microphone holes potentially, but they don't actually look like microphone holes. Talk about that in a sec. Turning over to the side, we've got a nice size volume rocker, a micro USB port for syncing and charging. The power button is actually on the right side of the device, and I wish HTC would make up their mind, because on their last generation of devices, they put it on the left. Not a big deal if you're getting this phone, you'll get used to it, but in the world of phone reviewers, we kind of get frustrated when they change the location of the power button, which with every generation of phones. And they also have the 3.5mm headphone jack on the top. On the Desire HD, it is on the bottom. So just a small design change, not too big of a deal. Then we get this pretty cool backing back here, which is very reminiscent of the Droid Incredible on Verizon. We have an 8 megapixel camera with dual LED flash and a speaker. Now this also takes video at 720p. Back here we'll also see a hole here, and also 2 holes here. What are they for? Well, if we take off the back and we see where they sort of go to, they kind of are part of the antenna system. We need an engineer to come in and tell us what this is all about. So here is the first hole. Over here comes through where these 2 contacts are, and the other 2 holes down here are from these other two contact holes. Why are there holes in the back battery cover where the contacts are to help with the antenna system? We're not sure. We're going to have to look into that. But the back is pretty cool because you've got this sort of stage where the battery and the camera lens is, and then the rest of it is just razor thin. It would be cool if one day smartphones were as thin as the thinnest part of this, kind of down here. So the battery is 1430 milliamp hours. I've actually got to show you here that it comes with an 8 gigabyte class 4 micro SD card, so a good size there on the Incredible S when you buy it. Now let's talk a little bit about build quality. The Incredible S is a lighter device, and when you get a lighter device, that often means that they're using less metal and glass. If you look at a device like the Desire HD here, which has metal on the back, a big piece of glass on the front, it's quite heavy and it feels high quality. The Incredible S, as you saw, is using a lot of plastic. It's got a glass screen, of course. You can, go like that so that you can hear that it's glass. But beyond that, there's not any metal on the device. It feels a little bit low quality. Again, it feels light, which is good, but it feels low quality, which is not so good. And one final design note, the Incredible S has actually a raised lip. It's going to be very hard to show here around the device. It's about a 1/2 millimeter that protrudes sort of up and around, almost like a tray. Really doesn't matter very much, although it may collect a little bit more pocket lint than your average phone. Overall, the hardware of the HTC Incredible S isn't really what we expect from HTC nowadays. There are no chrome accents, there are no interesting design elements. It feels lightweight and a little bit low quality, but some people again like the lightweight feel. But overall, it's a little bit of a downgrade from some of HTC's higher end devices like the Desire HD. So coming up soon, we're going to talk about the software on the Incredible S, talk about benchmarking speeds, how web browsing performances, and everything else like that. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up, and thanks for watching. That's it for now.